Mohammed, you can go ahead and start when you're ready, and you have control of the presentation.
Can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So my name is Mohammed Samal. I'm a new PhD student at Agdanis University. So this presentation is the almost half part of my thesis from my master's degree. Still in process for having a new research paper. So the content I'm sharing in this is like already published or similar to that, but I achieved better results. So and the next part I'm not presenting because it's in still review for the journal. So here's the outline for my presentation. So let's go with the introduction. So as you know, the internet users are increasing day by day. So this graph shows that in 2019, the users were around, the data was around 53. The users on the internet was around 53.6%, and it should be greater in 2021. So we need to solve this problem. Like there much content on the internet, so we have to bring some system that should recommend appropriate items to the users. So predicting the appropriate item for users is a great challenge in information system. So recommender systems are the solutions for such problems. So many e-commerce websites such as Amazon, Netflix, you all are aware of them. So they use recommender system to recommend items. So what is the purpose of recommender system? So the main purpose of recommender system is to generate meaningful recommendation to the users that might interest them. So a normal example is Netflix. So I think you all are aware of Netflix. So Netflix recommends some movies and TV shows. Here's the picture. So you can see that in this picture, on the upper row, you can see these are specific suggestions for you, and these are new releases and other row, and these are TV action adventure. So what is the objective of this study? The main objective of this study is to recommend personalized item, not the general item, but the personalized item to the users according to their interest. For example, any movie, for example, Titanic is used by this user, and also uh, the this movie is used by this user. So both have watched these movies, the same movie, the Titanic. So we can recommend the next movie. It's just an ordinary example. So we can suggest the next movie to the other users who hadn't watched it. So now we'll go to the brief literature view. Uh, these are the four approaches generally used in recommender system. The first one is content based, the other one is collaborative, other one is model based, and some link prediction approaches are used. So what's in the content based approach? This approach depends on the content viewed or rated by the user. So according to the user's content that he has rated, a user profile is generated. In user profile, you can put some already rated items. You can put search keywords that a user specifically search for items, and it also involves the latest activity of the specific user. And the other one is collaborative filtering approaches. So normally there are two approaches in collaborative filtering. So the first one is user-based filtering. In user-based filtering, the behavior of user determines which items should be recommended. For example, if the user like item A, then more item will be recommended from the same category to that user. So for example, if I like any smartphone, so I rate it or I purchase it previously. So it will show me similar items to that phone. So other one is item based. So in the above, the user behavior is uh, circulated, and also the neighbors method is used. So for example, if I'm purchasing smartphone, and the other users, 2 3 users also purchasing smartphone, so we can collect their information and show it to you. The other is item based filtering. It also work in the similar way, but it depends on the item. So instead of suggesting the neighbors items, you can suggest the similar items to that user. So the model-based approaches are mostly machine learning and deep learning approaches. You can use decision tree, random forest, sport vector machines, all of these. So an example of this is this model was based on the clustering algorithm. So you can see that as we increase the k nearest neighbor, so the mean square error, root mean square error decreases to minimum value. So it indicates that the more users or more neighbors we include in our model, the mean square error will be low and our prediction will be more precise. So in link prediction approaches, you can use random walks, metapath to get information of the users. To like you can use 2 nodes up to get like 2 neighbors up to 2 nodes. You can increase that also. So these are link prediction approaches. So the proposed approach, first I will talk about the data set. So the data set in this research is Movie Lens, which is very popular. It has user IDs, movie IDs, their ratings, also their names and their release year, and the genres are also included. So it comprises of 25 million ratings and 62,000 movies, 1600 and 20 movies are rated by each user. At least 20 movies are rated by each user. So the genres in this data set are the following. So data for processing. So actually we did two things. Like for the primitive approaches, we took the 100K entries in the data set. And for the model-based approaches, we used the bigger data set. It was almost 1 million ratings. So these are some insights that you can get from the data set. It would be beneficial for the students who are starting their masters, like how you can get different insights from your data set. So these are the number of movies in each year. So around I think 2002, there was highest movies was produced according to this data set, and the popular genre in each year. So drama is I think the most popular genre throughout these 100-year span, more than 100-year span. The best years of each genre, you can see that it changes, but in the last 4 to 5 years, it was crime genre which was popular. So this is the example of my data set. So we have user IDs, movie IDs, ratings, title of the movie, year, the genres. Also, we merged the IMDb dataset with this dataset to get more insights. So it is one of my contribution in this research to include the IMDb dataset and also predict the ratings of the users. It is worth noting that the original ratings from the data set that I was using were out of 5. So we normalized that to out of 10 because the IMDb rating was out of 10. So these are primitive approaches. These are also used to like get some insights how data is uh, interconnected with users and with movies. So we just did some random approaches like pick 2 random movies, M1 and M2, determine the corresponding common users for these 2 movies. If the number of such items is not at least 3, then go back to step 1. Otherwise, take 3 common users, use their rating to determine similar behavior. So the results was like similarity between these 2 users was 50 to 55%. The second approach was also same, but it as the difference of ratings between the two users, and the results are almost the same as the previous one. And we include the third. In this, we included the more information about the user and movies, and the results are again like around, we get around 60% here similarity between the two users or movies. So here we include the concept. It is the part of the contribution of this research, like average user and non-average people. So the average people have similar ratings from IMDb ratings. For example, if I rated any movie, like take an example of Titanic, I rated it 7. So the overall IMDb rating of the Titanic movie is around 7.5 or 8. So we can consider it as a average user, because the rating that he has given to the specific movie and the rating present on the IMDb data set is the same. So we can take it as average people. The more parameter was the difference between user rating and IMDb rating should be less than 0.75. So this was our criteria to have a average user. So for example, user A has rated the number of movies. We calculate the difference of movies, multiple movies that he has rated rated by the user A with respect to IMDb rating, such that the difference is 0.5. So the other parameter was that the number of movies satisfying the above criteria should be at least 80%. So total of 80% of rated movies should lie in this criteria. So we take it as average user. So other users are taken as a non-average users in this result. So we applied primitive approaches on average and non-average people. So you can get, as expected, the average user positive cases should be more um, rather than the non-average people, because the non-average people have diverse rating. So average people should have the similar rating. Again, our precision was around 60%. In the fifth approach, we also include genres, and again, the result was expected. Like on average people, the positive cases were around 58%. So further, we implemented machine learning approaches like decision trees, random forest, and support vector regression model. So we took the difference that I mentioned before. So the number of average people are given in this table. So we calculated mean square error and mean absolute error. So the mean absolute error on our average people, like you can see here, number of average people is 0.64 in case of decision trees. And on the non-average people, the decision tree is not performing very well here. On the random forest, our mean square error was 0.51, and on the non-average people, you can see that it was 1.23, so it's not performing on the non-average people. And same is the case with support vector machines. In case of average people, the mean square error is 0.59, and in case of non-average people, it is 1.17. So then we implemented the collaborative filtering approach. So this methodology personalized the score of each user with respect to each given item. Firstly, it calculates the average rating of all items rated by the user according to this formula. The average rating of user will help to calculate the deviation between the user's new rating from or his or her average rating for the other item. So deviation is like if I have an average rating of all movies like 8 out of 10, and I rated the next movie like 9. So my deviation is 1. My average ratings or the new rating. So my deviation is 1. So we can take it as a deviation. Afterward, this method calculates the average deviation of an item for all users. So the deviation of a user is difference between average rating and a given rating to an item I. The deviation of single user for an item is given by the following formula, and then it calculates the average deviation of all users for an item according to this formula. Furthermore, this methodology adds the average rating of specific user and average deviation of all users for that specific item, and for the particular user according to this formula. And the weights are also included to improve the accuracy. the weight is higher if the deviation between two users is minimum, otherwise smaller. So you can take this example as a user-based filtering. If the deviation between two users is minimum, so we can say that these are two similar users. So in case of items, so we can take the deviation of user and overall deviation of that item. So that will be item-based filtering. So in our training set, we use 70% of the data and 30% for our testing. So these are the results for training. Mean square error was 0.66, testing mean square error was 0.91, and training mean square absolute error was 0.61, and the training mean absolute error was 0.73. Then we applied metric factorization. So I want to uh, discuss some behaviors of metric factorization. So this is the picture. So this picture illustrates that all users are giving same ratings to the movies. So that's not a common behavior by human beings. So I think that's not possible. Uh, and the other is like this. You can take this matrix. So all the ratings in these uh, for these movies and for these users are different. So this is also not applicable because there should be some similarity between the users. So because it's a human behavior that similar user, there are users which like similar movie and they rate similar movie. So for our purposes, this is the ideal situation. You can see that this user have the same ratings for 5 movies. It is possible that the same users have given the same rating to that movie. So we can say that these two users are similar. So these are called dependencies that which if we go for all movies and this user is also rating the same movie, so we in metric factorization we find the dependencies and apply use that information from the dependencies to build a model. So as I mentioned before, these two users are equal because they have rated the similar movies. So if user 1 watches an other movie, so we can recommend that movie to this user. So another example is that the movie 1 has been rated by these 4 users and movie 4 has a similar rating for all users. So we can say that these movies are almost similar. So it can contain similar genre, similar actors maybe, or similar producers. So maybe that is possible. And also other dependencies, we can find that adding the 2 rows will give us the rating for the other one. So for example, these two users, if we add the rating for movie 1, so it is 4. So this user has rated 4. So this example shows that, for example, movie 1 has 2 genres, action or comedy. So sorry, so movie 1 has action genre, so this user don't like action genre. So for that movie 1 he likes action or he likes comedy, so we can add those two, like the fourth users can like action and genres, both movies. So this is another dependency in metric factorization. So this is the example I mentioned. So I love action movies, I love comedy, I love action and comedy movies. So this can be another dependency. So what does the recommender system do? So as I mentioned before, for this we can say that the most predicted rating should be 1 because the ratings for this user and this user are almost similar. So the question is, how do we find all the dependencies? And the answer is through metric factorization. So what is factorization? Factorization in simple mathematics is that you factor the number, like 24 can be factorized as 6 by 4 or 12 by 2, any other factorization you can put. So here is another example. So we can say that movie 5 has 2 genres, comedy and action, and this user likes comedy and action. So in metric factorization, we take a dot product of those movies. So we can add these two movies and say that the rating for this should be 5 for then a fourth user. And this is another example. So for this three, how we computed that. For these three, how we computed that she will give it the rating 3. So we can see that she likes comedy but not the action. So the rating for comedy is 3 and action she doesn't like, so we did not include that. So the rating for this movie here should be 3. Here's another example how we computed for. So B doesn't like comedy and it like he or she likes action. So we can ignore the comedy from this column and we can add 4 from that action movie. So we can predict that item from rating from this method. So we should not compute the all the metrics given by for the user item or user movies metrics, because as you see there are 2000 users and 1000 movies, so there should be at least 2 million entries, which is a bad idea to put that in the memory. So what does a matrix factorization do? It splits the data. For example, for 1000 movie it takes 100 features, so this line represents the features. Features can be like genres, duration of the movie, actors name, producer's name, anything you can put in this. And this has so we take a subsection of movies and also the subsection of the user, so we can compute that easily rather than 2 million entries. So this is the illustration of matrix factorization. We use matrix factorization of for this paper, so this detail already I have discussed. So how to implement that, you can check this in the references. And these are the results which we used on average or non-average people. So in matrix factorization, we use the non-average people data because the average people data was very good in our case in random forest and decision trees. So for the non-average people, we use matrix factorization and also the collaborative filtering. So these are the results of matrix factorization. So artificial neural networks, we didn't do anything crazy in here, but we used the matrix factorization and applied a neural network using Keras library. So here is the illustration of artificial neural network, and the results are here. As you can see, with the number of epochs, the mean square error is around 0.81 or 2 here. And there is a train MSE and test MSE for that model. And the results in our study was better than all of those studies given for the collaborative filtering. Like our MAE mean absolute error was better than those studies. In case of MSE, there was no information of MSE for those studies. For the matrix factorization, our model generates 0.67, and there are some examples. There were more examples I didn't include. And for the artificial neural network, we did better in MAE, but this study was doing better. It is also worth noting that these results are for the non-average people. So if we add both average and non-average people data results, so these figures should do better there. But here I have included the non-average people. So here is the proposed algorithm. If a new users come, we detect there is a typo. If it's an average user, we do SVR or random forest, and we recommend that user a movie or any item. If the user is non-average, we use matrix factorization, collaborative filtering, and artificial neural networks, and recommend those movies to here. So future work. In future work, still now we are doing, like if you are aware of geometric library, that is a graph-based library. So we are implementing this to that we graph library. So the data will be represented as a graph, so we can extract more information using the graphs. So also we are hoping to implement some link prediction techniques here. Any questions? Thank you, Colin.
All right, I'll open it up for anybody before me that has any questions first.
Can I ask a question? I'm not really sure how to ask this, but were they any outstanding features? Like, what were the feature importances?
You mean what was the important features in the data?
Yeah.
So in the we can get mostly the genres are included for that specific movie. So the main feature was genre in the original data set. So
Okay.
there was no other information about producer, who is the producer or actor, or the length of the movie. So in the original data set, there was the meaningful features was genre.
Okay.
Following on the previous question, was there any kind of ablation done to determine like the importance of features?
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
And did you do any kind of ablation to determine the effect of the various features? You used more than one feature, right? Did you
Yeah.
determine?
So in Keras library, so we used vectors like in Keras library, you have an option that you can automatically generate 50 features or 100. So that detects automatically which features to be included. Like these are the you can say it as a random matrix. So the model, the library automatically detects that these features can be beneficial, but those features are not included in the data set, but it creates automatically by its understanding. So I'm not sure how does it do that, but it does in such a way.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you.
So, let's take a brief break, like just a couple of minutes for anybody if you want to. I'll stop the recording for this. Yeah.